I think I'm becoming someone else.
Elias Ellis.
You know I can't help these, cause they know they can never touch these. So baby, let me talk my shit, or I might just throw another fit.
As a young woman growing up in a deeply religious family, modesty was law.
Look at me go, look at me flex, it's not a plane, more like a jet, I just song.
It wasn't just modesty in clothing. There was also this unidentifiable and inhumane way of maneuvering the world in a modest way that was oftentimes very confusing. I suppressed my rawness, my boldness, my bluntness. It wasn't appropriate to just say how I feel. Nothing could come off as too challenging, too direct, or otherwise it would come off as disrespectful. I suppressed my sensuality. Living in a female body felt like a sin, and it only grew more sinful as I developed into more womanly features. I felt like I had to watch every facial expression, how I sat, how I walked, and even the tone of my voice. I was afraid to even smile in front of mixed company out of fear that that would also be mistaken as seduction. I used to pray that my breasts and my butt would disappear because it was clear that all the things that made me sinful were all the things that made me a girl. And if I could just get rid of those things, then I'd be a righteous Muslim girl. I suppressed my competitive nature and my ambition. I always had a desire to be the best, to climb to the top. If there was glory to be had, I wanted it. But trying to intentionally be the best at something, especially if there were boys around wanting the same thing, was immodest, and felt like I was coveting something that didn't belong to me. And if I did achieve over others, it quickly no longer became impressive and meant nothing. I suppressed wanting to be myself. I'm socialized to be social, move in groups, be available for others. But I hate being around others. I don't feel recharged one bit. The version of me that was rewarded the most was the quiet version of me, the one that didn't cause any trouble or have any problems of my own to bring to other people. It was the version of me that was consistently high achieving without being asked or rewarded for it, because it was just what I was supposed to do. I was the second mother, everyone's caretaker, the unofficial spare adult, the child willfully abandoning their childhood in order to carry the weight of everyone else around them. The version of me that was rewarded was the version of me that agreed and didn't talk back, didn't challenge anything, the version of me that just obeyed without question. But guess who doesn't have a knack for agreeing and obeying anymore? You know, it happened slowly until it was happening all at once. The traits I'm just now allowing myself to embody are my boldness, my intensity and sensuality, my competitiveness, domination, independence, ambition, self-sovereignty, you know, just the small things.
We got it next. That's how you finesse. We come for they next. We come to collect.
What feels so unfamiliar about who I'm becoming is there's no longer a mental shield or block around me and my emotions. But it feels like I'm waiting for the rug to be pulled out from underneath me. And I feel like I'm self-monitoring because after all of these years of holding back, I don't actually know how deep these traits could go. I don't know how intense these traits could get. I'm not sure the full extent of who I could develop into, and that feels so uncertain. It feels strange to freely wear what I want to wear, say what I want to say, believe in the things that I want to believe in, without feeling like I need to censor myself. It feels strange containing my energy and using it for myself and the things that I want to use it for, and not being guilt-tripped or shamed into giving it to other people and being extra space for other people. It feels strange to no longer measure my self-worth by how much I sacrifice for others and not being praised for enduring the most discomfort. You know, I've never been uncomfortable with death, and this death is no different. It's actually relieving to know that there are parts of my old self that are dying off. It feels like I'm shedding a second skin. The perpetual people pleaser. The fearful girl who was just absorbing everybody else's fears. The person who just wanted to keep the peace and not rock the boat. The person who was considered as an extra resource for other people to use. The version of me that cared too much about what other people thought because I was told that I was supposed to care. What excites me about this transformation, though, is all of the possibilities of who I could be and where my life could go. The freedom of feeling much more comfortable and confident with who I am, my body, my life. I'm excited about the place that I'm carving out for myself in the world. What scares me about all of this, though, is I don't actually know how powerful I am. Sometimes I feel so powerful, like I have all of this energy behind these traits that have been so suppressed for so long that they could go haywire and I wouldn't be able to know how to control it. And then I'd have to deal with consequences that I wasn't fully prepared for. I definitely miss the smaller version of myself sometimes. She was comforting and familiar. I know how to be her well, and I know the kind of outcomes that I would get in being her. She's predictable for me now, and that kind of familiarity feels comfortable, safe. It feels scary to outgrow my conditioning, but I also feel kind of giddy inside. You know, freedom is often uncertainty before it's anything else. When my desires finally stopped feeling shameful, I started to feel like I was truly aligning with the divine. My family, my community, my religion, all of these things have been the outside guiding voices over my life for so long, and they often created internal conflict. I would feel like my natural desires are inherently bad, and that would just confirm the fear that I was incapable and didn't know what I was doing. But now, I feel powerful. My desires feel self-affirming. When I stopped trying to appear safe and pleasant, I noticed that I repel a lot of things in people. But I also attract a lot of things in people now, too. When I stopped trying to appear safe, I noticed that I stopped being approached for shit that I didn't even want to do to begin with. My initial reaction is to feel bad because of my old programming and believing that I should be pleasant and always approachable and ready for people whenever they need my help. But after I let the initial wave of those old emotions run its course and expel from my body, I realized that I feel at peace. Not being safe to others, but being more safe for myself. Maybe I am becoming someone else. And maybe I'm just becoming more of the person I was always meant to be.